Thank you to Plank Mattress for sponsoring this video. Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. It's been a while since I've shared with you guys my whole entire Pokemon card collection, so I wanted to showcase where we're currently at, what cards did I remove from my collection, what cards did I add to my collection, and what the total value of my collection currently looks like, because we are sitting at close to $500,000. Woo 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 woo, 500,000, half a milli. That's actually absolutely insane. I was supposed to do a video, I guess, when we reached like 420 because I thought it'd be a funny number. I am TwicebakedJake after all, but it just didn't happen. We passed that number so quickly and so rapidly in January. I blinked one night and I went from like a $400,000 collection to a $480,000 collection, which is insane. I recently cleaned up my collection as well, since there were stuff that was still in my collector portfolio that I didn't own any longer because I had sold them off or traded them off to other collectors. And so you can see like a little bit of a dip as I removed a bunch of stuff, but then I added all the stuff that I recently picked up. And we're right at around $482,000. We might reach 500,000 by March or something. So $500,000 seems very feasible. I would ignore this number because it includes all of my other portfolio that I'm currently tracking. And that's just me tracking different items and collectibles. And that's not a true valuation because just because I add it to be tracked, it doesn't mean like I own it. So this would be a closer valuation to what I truly own inside of my collection. I have a lot of really cool cards to share with you guys, so that would be a lot of fun. Before we get started though, I would like to thank Plank Mattress for sponsoring today's video. If you've been thinking about upgrading your sleep and you want an extra firm mattress, I highly recommend you check out Plank today. I really struggle with my sleep, and a big part of that is that a lot of mattresses are just a little bit too soft, and I feel like my whole entire body is sinking down into them. I grew up living in Vietnam and I'm used to just napping on the floor in my grandma's house, so I'm used to a firm surface, and Plank Mattress really delivers on that. They offer fantastic support for your whole entire body. I really like Plank because I don't feel that mid-back dip kind of feeling that I get on a softer bed. For me, the biggest difference is how it feels supportive, like you're not just sinking in, which is huge if you want a mattress that stays consistent over time. And the cool thing is that the mattress is flippable, so you actually get two feels in one mattress. One side is firm, and when you flip it, the other side is actually extra firm, so you can dial in what works best for you without getting a whole entire new bed. If you want to check it out today, click the link down in the description and use the code TwicebakedJake to get 30% off your order. Plank Mattress is endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association, and top chiropractors everywhere recommend Plank mattresses for patients seeking improved posture and reduced back pain. My goal for 2026 is to improve my health, and sleep is a huge part in my overall health, especially after a long day of sitting in an office chair. Plank Mattress solves a lot of problems I've been having, like back pain, sleeping hot and stuffy, and just feeling uncomfortable and restless. Plank mattresses are designed, assembled, and shipped from their Arizona factory. This means that they are able to use premium materials at a reasonable price for you with no middleman bringing up the cost. Plank is absolutely for people who want to try a firm mattress and go, man, this is still not firm enough. Again, a huge thank you to Plank Mattress for sponsoring today's video. Click the link down in the description, try them out today, and you'll never look back. And if you want to see my whole entire Pokemon card collection, I have a link down in the description so you can see everything inside of it. Also, highly recommend you guys check out Collector. If you're just looking to keep track of your whole entire collection, they are fantastic, and a bunch of other content creators like myself also use Collector. So you can check it out and you can see all of our showcases. And I have a bunch of really cool cards. Most of this stuff you've seen inside of the background. I will say some of the numbers still need to be updated because I don't agree with them. Like for instance, a Pokecune booster box, there's no way you're going to be able to find one for $8,500. I think that's a little bit inaccurate. There's some other stuff that I think is really cool that I recently added. The first big card you see right here is the Shaman EX. This one's a huge one. Super rare and limited. There's like 100 copies of this card available in a PSA 10. And as you probably heard on the Card Lounge podcast, and if you haven't, highly recommend you check out the Card Lounge podcast, where I am the co-host of. And I'm currently trying to collect all of the gold XY cards, and these look fantastic on display. I'm currently trying to do a 9-card graded slab display of these, and the Shaman EX is one of the centerpiece. The other big one that's really expensive includes the Yveltal or Yveltal EX, however you want to pronounce it. This card's really cool as well. I think the XY era gold rares are actually really, really exquisite, and some of these you guys have probably heard me gush over, like the Gyarados EX. This one's fantastic as well. And I'm trying to collect all of them, but there's two different versions. There's the mega ones, which I think fits in their own display. And then you have these other gold rares, which has multiple Pokemons inside of the art, and these are fantastic. So that's going to be two separate displays, but we're getting pretty close to reaching the whole entire 9-card display, which I'm really proud of, which brings up to the next question that I think is really common, which is, hey Jake, where do you get the money to actually collect a lot of these cards? And I'll tell you, my collection has reached the point where it's kind of a revolving door, right? I don't need to inject additional money like from my job or something into my collection, just because I can just sort of make my collection work on its own. And I know a lot of people want to reach that level as well. So how do I achieve getting some of these cards? Because for instance, the Gyarados EX, this is a $2,000 card. So how do you get something like this? Well, I sold off a bunch of my collection a couple of months ago. In fact, if you were watching my live stream during Black Friday of November of last year, I was selling a bunch of Brilliant Stars booster boxes, Astral Radiance booster boxes. I sold a bunch of Paldea Evolve booster boxes, Temporal Forces booster boxes. If you were a part of that live stream, you probably remember that. We did a $1 start on a bunch of sealed Pokemon card products, and I didn't need those products inside of my collection. I have no use for a booster box case of Brilliant Stars, but I would much rather have some of these grails. So I was able to give a bunch of cards, or I guess sell a bunch of my collection sealed booster boxes to other collectors who might not have a sealed booster box of Astral Radiance, Paldea Evolve, or Brilliant Stars in their collection. And being able to sell those off, I was able to achieve getting other cards inside of my collection that I really, really want. At the end of the day, it's probably a win-win scenario, because every single booster box I sold was probably going for 30 to 40% less than what they are currently valued at. But at the same time, I'm okay with that, because I was able to achieve a bunch of really cool cards that I can now finally fill out inside of my collection. Moving along, I've got a bunch of other really cool stuff to show you guys. This one's a big one. We finally got ourselves a Moonbreon. I picked it up for $3,000 around 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I actually got more flack for owning this card than anything. I didn't get a lot of kudos for it, because a lot of people are like, oof, I wouldn't have picked that up if I were you. And I actually agree with them. Yeah, I'm not a huge Umbreon VMAX fan or Moonbreon fan. In fact, if you watch a lot of my videos, you probably know that. The biggest reason why I picked this card up was because I'm currently trying to get the whole entire VMAX line. I think these cards look fantastic, and it would be a really solid display to have the whole entire collection as well. Specifically, the Jolteon VMAX, the Flareon VMAX, and the Vaporeon VMAX, I think are really underrated, just because their population report is super low, and it's not like any of these other EVs are significantly less popular than Umbreon. Certainly, Umbreon's the most popular, but not by like a huge margin. And I personally think like the Vaporeon VMAX, the Glaceon VMAX, they're all super gorgeous. So I am currently trying to chase down the whole entire Evolving Skies line for all of these. So I'm still missing the Sylveon VMAX and the Leafeon, so I'm on the search for those. Some other cards that I recently added to my collection include a bunch of the Tag Team GX alt art that I was missing. I was missing the Magikarp and Wailord Tag Team GX, so I recently picked that one up. That one's been really going up as well. Pretty much all of the Tag Team GX have been going up as well. We got ourselves the Umbreon and Darkrai. That's a recent pickup of mine. That one's really huge as well. That's a very, very large one. We have some of the gold rare cards. I have a Gengar VMAX as well. It's right there in the background. You guys have probably seen it if you were watching my investing series, where we picked up a couple cards specifically because I just thought they were fantastic investments, and we'll see how well that goes, because that's a completely different series. We got ourselves the Gengar VMAX and the Bubble Mew, which are a part of that. Another big Tag Team GX that we recently picked up include the Espeon and Deoxys. It's only slightly cheaper than the Umbreon and Darkrai, which I think is exactly right. The Umbreon and Darkrai has about a 25% premium over the Espeon and Deoxys, which I think is very fair. But if you look at the Umbreon VMAX, it's currently got a, I don't know, like a 5x or 6x multiplier over the Espeon VMAX, which I don't understand at all. That doesn't make any sense. We've got a bunch of other really awesome stuff that I recently added to my collection. The Chinese 5th anniversary box and the Pikachu that goes inside of it. There we go. They're right next to each other. That's actually really funny. So yeah, I'm currently trying to fill out all of the Tag Team GX card. We picked up the Blastoise and Piplup Tag Team GX from Canada. That's really cool. And those are some of the cards I'm missing. Currently trying to fill out all the Tag Team GX. There's only a couple left that I'm still missing, and most of them are cheaper ones, which makes it a lot easier because since I've already owned the Latias and Latios, the Gengar and Mimikyu, since I already own the the Wailord and Magikarp, since I own most of the expensive Tag Team GX, it makes it a lot easier to pick up the cheap ones. Same with the XY Gold Rares. Since I own the Shaman, since I own the Yveltal or Yveltal, since I own most of the expensive PSA 10s, the cheaper ones are a lot easier to get because I think one of the ones that I'm actually missing from the Gold Rare is the Full Art Mewtwo. That one I'm currently missing, but that one's incredibly affordable and very readily available, so I can pick up that card almost like any time. I'm not in a rush to get that card, which I think is really nice. Once you get some of the more expensive cards inside of a specific collection, the other ones get a lot easier to pick up. I also picked up the Slowpoke and Psyduck. Got that one from a vendor for a fantastic deal in Canada. So yeah, really solid collection update. My goal is will probably reach 500,000. I've already sold off a solid chunk of my collection, I think around 4 or 5 months ago, to put money away for my kids' college education, dream fund, whatever you want to call it. So they have money set aside. So pretty much this is just my collection that I can work around with. So I do have extra items inside of my collection as well, which is fantastic. Having duplicates is great. I still have a couple of 151 UPCs, extra copies of them. So that's something that I can easily sell if I want to achieve something else inside of my collection. We also have some base set unlimited booster pack. Those don't really go up all that much. Those are just from the days when I have them literally in a shoebox somewhere, and we just happen to have a couple. So yeah, that's my latest collection update, what I'm currently chasing right now. Trying to fill out all the EVV Max, still missing the Leafeon and the Sylveon. I had a Sylveon, but we gave it away in a live stream last year. So congratulations to whoever got that. And then we are going to try to fill out all of the XY promos, as well as filling, or I guess the XY Gold Rares. And then we are going to try to fill out all of the Tag Team GX Alt Art. And I'm actually pretty confident I'm going to achieve all of those goals this year. And that's really exciting because that frees me up to start collecting a bunch of other really cool cards that have been more recent that I would love to start chasing, but some of these other collection pieces take precedent because they're just way harder to come by, and you guys get that. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys are currently picking up or where your current collection stands at, because I'm sure you guys have some doozies as well. Yeah, we still have a couple of Brilliant Stars booster box, so that's something that I can easily like offload to buy other stuff for my own collection. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.